Grand Rising, Grand Rising. It is Corey with Living Free. Hey everyone. Thanks for watching me. I see, when people watch, it just fills my heart with joy. I appreciate you all. So, I had a strange day yesterday. I had to go take care of some stuff for my stalker. And don't know how bad things can get because I don't know. We'll find out. Hopefully it doesn't. I'm not anticipating anything. I'm not expecting anything. However, so while I'm doing what I needed to do, I had to. So just so you guys know, I was given a runaround, and I was told, I was trying to get a restraining order. I was told I needed to, the police told me to go to one place. The one place told me to go to the DA. The DA told me to go back to the to the place the police told me to go to. And I'm like, I'm so lost. I'm confused. I don't know what to do. Because apparently stalking does not come with criminal charges. So sad. So I went and took care of it, and the judge was like, oh, they have a girlfriend? This is crazy. And I'm like, oh my goodness, if I don't already feel bad. If I'm not scared, you just terrified me. So as I'm sitting there, there's some guy who's there, and he's elevated. But elevated because he just wanted to be heard. He's hurt, wants to be heard, so the lady was like, you just come back tomorrow. And I'm looking at her like, why are you so rude? But she was rude to me, but she was picking and choosing who she was going to be nice to and who she's going to be rude to. And whenever you're already in a stressful situation, you don't need the added stress. So I talked to him, and I was like, yeah, this is what I was told to do. And she was like, you don't even know. I'm like, whoa, back up with this attitude, lady. I don't know you. I'm you're not helping, so let me help. We'll figure this out. So I talked to him, and he's there with his mom, and I talked to his mom, and all this other stuff. So he ends up being a really, really, really nice person. Just is stressed, overly stressed. But and I gave him my number. I said, if you ever need to talk, he asked me for my number, mind you, and I said, if you ever need to talk, I'm here. And he was like, I feel like I owe you big time. You don't owe me anything. Just take care of yourself and don't ever talk to this person again. I said, do me that favor. You owe me nothing, just do me that favor. But then, I get a text this morning talking about, oh, you're an angel and this and that, right? So you never know. And this is why I'm doing this video. Because you never know the impact that you have on somebody else's life. And yes, my hair has looked like this for a week. My daughter's supposed to be coloring my hair, and I'm waiting and waiting and waiting, so my apologies on this mess. But you never know what impact you have on somebody's life. It's big that, as a matter of fact, his mother encouraged him to get my phone number. And she was like, just as friends. And I was like, yeah, no, just as friends. Because right now I had just gotten off the phone with my daughter, and I was like, I was telling her about, we were talking about the situation, and, all the running around I had to do just to get what I need to get. So, I was talking to her, and then, I told her, somebody else is calling me, asking me this, and she was like, something's wrong with these men your age. And I said, or something's wrong with my picker. So I have picked the wrong people since 15, apparently, because I picked their dad. The only good thing that came out of that, lessons learned, but the only good thing that came out of that, I had 3 beautiful children. 3. So they were meant to be here. So, I should have stopped at 6 years, 7, maybe 8 or 9 years, because then that way I would have had all my kids. But a crazy mess, but just sit here as I sit and I'm going through some other stuff, right? So I had a revelation about stalking and some things that I had been doing, and I'm like, I guess that could be considered stalking. Felt horrible, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. I text the person and I was like, I am so sorry for ever making you feel uncomfortable or unsafe. I know, like blah blah blah, and and no, people aren't going to tell you this online. People are not really going to tell you the truth of who they are. I acknowledge and I take responsibility for everything that I do. Everything, because I sit inside a lot and I need to evaluate who I am and where I am. You don't have to, but that's just part of who I am. And what I've learned from, for those of you who don't know, like, I hadn't had a relationship with my father. I knew who he was, he lived in our house for a little bit of time, but I knew who he was, in and out. Love him dearly. I went to him and told him that I wanted to connect, and one year I wrote him like a 4-page letter, and didn't get the response that I wanted. But just last year, I want to say, I went to him and told him I wanted to connect, and since then our relationship has grown so much, and I love this man dearly. And for people who don't get to spend that time with their parents and get to know them, and I tell him that like, he's an amazing person, and like, you're just really intelligent, you're amazing, I really appreciate you. And had I not did my coaching, I probably would have never gotten to know my father. He would have passed away, and I would have never known the truth of who he is. So me learning the truth of who he is, I learned the truth of who I am, and I realize I'm a lot like him. I realize I'm a lot like both of my parents. It's in my DNA. No, but you don't always want to be. You don't always want to be like your parents, but of course, you have to be like somebody. So why not them? But look at this. And I said about a whole lot today, I know. Look at how you treat people. Look at who is around you. Pay attention just to things around you. I struggled yesterday. I was struggling with my own thing. And then at the end of it all, I asked him, because he was crying. He was just boo-hooing. And I said, no. And I walked over to him and I was like, do you mind if I give you a hug? And I hugged him, and he was like, no, I got to give you a real hug. And he hugged me again, right? So he was like, thank you so much. And I said, you know what, that hug really wasn't for you, it was for me. I needed that hug. I have people in my life that are so wishy-washy. I have people in my life, or people who come and go, right? And I don't not talk to them for that reason. I know who they are, And I had somebody who asked me, they're like, yeah, I think I really want to be with you, and da-da-da-da, and I love you. And I'm like, okay, so what do you think about it? And I said, well, usually we're okay for a week, and then the next week we argue, and then we stop talking. And I said, so I don't know what to think. I'm like, let's get past this week and figure it out. Like, let's get past this week. Let's get past next week. Let's see if there's anything there. So he then says, he has this whole conversation with himself, because I say nothing. He's having this whole conversation with himself about control and how people are controlling and blah, 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 blah. I'm at work and I'm not talking because people can hear what I say. So I'm like, I'm not saying anything and I needed to get work done. And he said something like, so what do you think? And I said, well, I think everybody has a certain level of control. I think they're controlling in their own way, right? So I got a text message the next morning that said, you said that I'm controlling and I don't want to talk to you anymore, and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, okay. See, we didn't even make it a week. We made it a half a day. Hilarious. I'm like, oh my goodness, these people. And I tell you what, I'm glad I deal with my own mess. I am so glad I deal with my own mess because, having conversations with people and realizing that they have some deep-rooted issues. Deep-rooted issues. And as I tell him, the night before I told him, he was talking to me about his mom and how much he loves her and, and then he says something about, I don't know if she loved me when I was growing up. And I said, well, I think she loved you when you were growing up. Well, she never said anything. Well, okay, well, she didn't say anything. So, okay, have a conversation with her about it, and if I said, it seems like you're hurting behind that. I said, but your issues are deeply rooted and you need to look inside and stop drinking and look inside and figure out what's wrong. And he was like, no, I'm not doing that. And I said, okay, well then you're going to keep going through these same cycles of having women, having people that you want to be in your life, and then they're the wrong people. Like, you're going to keep going through these cycles. I can only give you a little bit of something. I can only give you a spoon with food on it. If you do not put it in your mouth, then that's up to you. So and I often tell people, I'm like, people will ask me for my help, and I'm like, I'll help you once. I help once, and the reason being is because I used to help constantly. Oh, I need your help. Yeah, here I am. I'm running. And then they do nothing with it. So I'm like, I help once, and then you don't do anything with it. I might give you a little bit more information. Then I'm done. It's up to you to figure it out. It's up to you to do your own research. It's up to you to do what you need to do. I don't know. I can't enable anybody to, I just can't enable anybody, and I have for a long time. I don't know. I don't know what's going on in my life, just a lot of revelations have been coming up. I had a lot of them last weekend, which are good, like that stalking thing. I had that revelation. I had a revelation of like really who I am. Things are being brought to light. My daughter said, "Ma, have you been asking God to show you?" And I was like, no, I used to do that and I don't want to see me, but it still keeps coming up. I still keep seeing myself. And that's part of the spiritual journey. But that's part of the spiritual journey. If I don't see who I am, then there's no growth. You know what I mean? It's funny. It's like hilarious. You look at life and it's hilarious. But now I'm in the space of questioning, do I even really exist? Do I really exist? Do we exist? Who are we? What are we? What was really our purpose for actually coming down to this earth in a fleshly body, interacting with each other, fleshly, and then when we leave the earth, we leave back in the spiritual space that we were in. I don't know. What was the purpose of that? What is the purpose of that? I think we're being shown something, you know. I think we're being shown something, and I tell you guys that I don't think that, I'm like, I had an end date for my job, and I think my end date is more near than I think. I can't see myself living in this realm of being, they call it the Matrix. I can't see myself continuing to work for people. I can try to just enlighten and encourage others. However, there's just, I'm a certain type of person, and I like rules, and I like structure, and I like that kind of stuff, and it doesn't have to be that way, but that's in business. That's what I like. You have to have a certain level of structure. That company has none, and I have the hardest time trying to maneuver through. And somebody was like, Corey, just ride this wave. And I was like, I'm trying. God knows I'm trying. I am so trying. I just having a hard time trying to I'm just having a hard time being able to work for someone, and I think that that's what it is. So I am going to let you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. I wanted to tell you, just be that light to someone else. Shine bright like a diamond. Rihanna told me that. I just feel like really silly today, so I will have the most amazing day, and I ask that you have the most amazing day. Peace and blessings to you all. Love and light. I am sending healing energy to anybody who needs healing. I know. Just keep me in your thoughts, prayers. Send me some good energy as I go through this ordeal. I know that my stalker lives with somebody, and that's where his papers went, was to her house. So I don't know. Who knows what happens next? So it's not for me to know. I can't. I'm not writing this story. So stay well, everybody. I love you. I really appreciate you. Peace and blessings. Love and light. Healing energy. Have a good Saturday.